No lies told, but there's something about Jameis with the New York Giants in the Big Apple. I love it.
You mean television star Jameis Winston?
Yeah, that's Professor. Hey, having Jameis Winston in New York City, I don't know about him playing quarterback, but having him around it's going to be entertaining, no doubt.
He might be great at the podium. I just don't know how great he'll be for your New York Giants on the field.
Well, at least they have a quarterback under center that they can say, you know what, we're not a joke if this guy is operating our offense to start the season.
What?
I don't think it's a joke. I think Jameis Winston is a competent quarterback.
I don't understand that. I don't get the reaction around Jameis Winston. It makes no sense to me. Like, why is he not considered a bust? Baker Mayfield was ridiculed. Sam Darnold was ridiculed. Geno Smith was a second rounder and ridiculed.
Mm-hmm.
This is his fourth team, so maybe he's going to get the fourth team. Like everybody, those three guys on their fourth team were great.
Sure.
Jameis Winston has been bad everywhere he's been. Why is he was the number 1 overall pick in the entire NFL draft. What, because he changed his personality now and everybody thinks he's funny? That he's not a bust? Like, what is this? Why does he get the free Marcus Mariota is looked at as more of a bust than he is.
Jameis Winston was 5-2 in 7 games started for the New Orleans Saints in 2021.
Okay.
That's not a bust. That's a competent backup quarterback. That's exactly what you're looking for.
He was the number 1 overall pick in the draft.
Yeah, and he didn't live up to expectations. That's fair. But that doesn't mean that this guy can't play quarterback. He's a competent quarterback.
I know.
So as far as competent quarterbacks go, the Giants can do worse. They got Jameis Winston. Okay, great. That means that they're probably going to be in the quarterback business early on in the draft with the 3rd overall pick if they don't move up.
I'm just saying, Geno Smith was looked at as a laughingstock for years. Because he got punched in the face by Ike Benale, and then he disappeared with the Chargers and the Giants for years. And then it's like, oh, my God, he's good with the Seahawks. And then he just got traded to the Raiders, and now everybody's excited. Like, Geno Smith has been excellent in the league for the last however many years. He was a 2nd-round pick. Baker Mayfield flamed out in a way that the Browns were begging to get rid of him. Sam Darnold, I'm seeing ghosts. Those 3 guys, just as an example, because those are now the comps, right? The 4-team guys, they're now the 5th team in the case of actually both of them that just changed teams this offseason. I just feel like Jameis Winston has gotten the biggest pass of any number 1 pick I've ever seen in my life. He's not think about it. We're singing songs. We're playing the clip from him with Saquon at the Super Bowl. Like, why do we smile with him and frown with the other guys?
Well, that's all his media opportunities.
Yeah,
that's
personality.
That's not us talking about the football part of it. And when I first heard this news, I thought this is a solution. It's not their long-term option. I still think they're going to go out there and be active and bring in a quarterback. Jameis, to me, as I'm viewing this situation, is a bridge to the future because that's what John Mara said after the season. He said, there's 3 things we need to work on, and one of them is finding our quarterback for the future. Jameis Winston is not the quarterback for the future, but he can be somebody that can be there as a bridge to the future and or be there as a backup to the future if they draft him, which I fully expect them to be active in the draft and still get a quarterback.
Yeah, Jameis Winston is the pace car for whatever quarterback that they draft,
exactly.
Right? Like, they're going to be an open competition in training camp, and they're hoping that their young guy wins it. And then, oh, by the way, Jameis Winston, because of his pedigree, because he was the number 1 overall pick, can help that young quarterback, if that guy needs it, deal with being thrust into the NFL spotlight, especially in the most intense market in the entire country. Right. So all of that matters to me. But to sit here and say that Jameis ain't a competent quarterback or to say that he's not a quality backup, I just can't get on board with that.
I never said that.
Well, what did you say?
I said he's a bust as the number 1 overall pick in the draft and has never been treated as such. As a backup quarterback, because he was the number 1 pick in the draft, because everyone at one point thought he had insane talent. He went undefeated in college one year where he was basically like, and I'm not saying this in a joking way, like couldn't see.
Yeah.
Which was unbelievable that he went undefeated while not, like he didn't have the eye surgery at that point. And there's no question that he has an ability to win a game for you and lose a game for you. He's not a number 1 overall pick in terms of his career. He absolutely has a place in the NFL as a backup. I want to go into one other thing, though. You said this leads you to believe that your former team, the Giants, will take a quarterback in this year's draft at number 3. Previously, I think we all agreed the Giants aren't ready for a quarterback and are better off not taking one. Has your opinion on that changed now? Or you're
No.
inferring
My
based on
opinion
this?
is my opinion. I don't think they should take a quarterback just because they got a general manager and a head coach on a hot seat, but they don't give a damn about what I think. It feels like they're going to do what dysfunctional franchises do, which is draft a quarterback with all of that instability around them and have the potential for your quarterback to have a new head coach and general manager in year 2. Ask the Chicago Bears, is that the formula for success in terms of developing your franchise quarterback?
Not ideal.
It's not. So that's the part where I can't get on board with the Giants' game plan. Now, it doesn't mean that I don't like the quarterbacks at the top of this year's draft. It doesn't mean I don't think those guys are capable of being franchise quarterbacks. It's just that it's clear and obvious what the Giants are doing now. They're telegraphing their intentions at the top of this year's draft because it doesn't make any sense to me for them to continue to be in the veteran quarterback market, knowing that they re-signed Tommy DeVito and they signed Jameis Winston. Mm-hmm. It doesn't make sense to then go out and get yet another guy that is just an option at quarterback rather than the solution at quarterback. So to me, it's clear that the New York Giants are planning on taking one of those signal callers at the top of this year's draft. The only question is, are they going to take that guy at 3, or are they going to try to move up higher to get their choice of QBs?
So suggesting maybe going number 1 to get Cam Ward?
That's the only way you can guarantee it, right?
But with the inactivity that we've seen from Tennessee, how can we think that they're not going to stay put there now? So that's a gamble for the Giants is what I'm saying.
No, it's a gamble, but between the two programs, which one feels like the more desperate situation?
The Giants certainly, because of their head coach and GM.
Exactly, and what we've heard is that Tennessee ideally would be able to trade back, still get their guy, but then also get a bevy of picks in order to continue to build their program. So, again, it's a fascinating proposition, and because Tennessee is so quarterback-starved, you wonder what the asking price for them would be in order to move up to number 1. It just comes down to how much conviction Brian Daboll and Joe Shane and, quite frankly, John Mara have on the quarterback that they think is going to be their future guy.
Let's play into this or read into this for a second. So based on what you just said, your suggestion would be even if you were interested in Russ, he's off the board now because of the Jameis signing.
What sense does it make to have Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston a part of this team?
It doesn't.
I don't think he's off the board, though.
Okay, he might not be off the board, but I'm just asking what sense does it make?
If you're doing what you just said, which is don't draft a quarterback, there's your QB depth chart. You have Russell Wilson. If he doesn't work out, you use Jameis Winston. You still have Tommy DeVito as the fan favorite, right? But let's play this out. Let's just say Russ is not.
So why even bring back Tommy DeVito? That doesn't
because for fans, for appearances.
So we're going to save a roster spot for fans.
I think so.
No, the fans don't want him.
I was going to say, how many fans are clamoring for Tommy DeVito? I mean, I love the guy. He went to Illinois. He's Italian. But how many fans are saying, you know what? I'm going to buy tickets to see the New York Giants because Tommy DeVito's on the roster?
Not one. In fact, fans don't like him because he won a couple games 2 years ago, which cost them being able to draft guys. But yet, everyone has said, from Fowler on, all our insiders and reporters have said that the Giants' plan was always to bring in 2 quarterbacks.